when do we not have grown folks conversation?
I mean, we always having grown folks
When do we
conversations,
not
but
have grown folks?
this is grown folks, grown folks.
Sheesh.
This grown folks, grown folks. Like we really grown today. We are
Uh-huh.
grown today. All right, all right, all right. We are live
Are they
everywhere.
really ready?
All on the radio, all over everything. Hey,
Mm.
everybody, this is Single on a Saturday night. We do this every fourth Saturday, right here on Zoom for the moment until we get to go live and in person. And today, we have a great show, as we always do. Like I said, we're getting grown today, right here on grownfolksradio.com. Today, I am Shelly, single, never been married. Yeah, and chilling, just chilling, enjoying this singleness. I'm gonna let everybody introduce themselves. Coming with the guest last, so I'm gonna go ahead to the Storm.
What's going on, family? Hey, Shelly, I have a question first before I do my introduction. You're only Shelly today? Can you say today I am Shelly? You only Shelly today?
I know, right? I don't know.
You only single
You
today?
know, I had another thought. I had a thought in mind. I was like, I messed that all up. But there you go. Yes, I'm Shelly Shell all day, every day. But I was in a thought pattern.
All day, every day. What was going on, my sister? That's my sister, Shelly Shell. I am TC Cole, BKA Stormy Weathers, also known as your big homie, and I am single. I am a father of the future. And let me see. I pretty much do everything. I'm a Renaissance man. Because if I can't do it, baby, it probably can't be done.
No, it can't be. It really can't. Cooking. My cooking sister up there.
Hey y'all, my name is Jay Renee with Hip Hop Humanism and Hip Hop Humanism Radio. I appreciate being here on this platform, and I am currently in a relationship.
Awesome. All right, I think Matthew, get in the middle. So you like Moni in the middle. Where's she at? In the middle?
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Matthew. I'm so happy to be here at Single on a Saturday night. I'm going through my, separation, divorce thing. So I always get something out of the show, and it's so good to see everybody. It's been so long. So thank you.
Cool. I want to say your name right. Swaya? Are you?
It's Swia.
Swia? I was trying to be fancy with it. I'm saying Swia. You can introduce yourself if you like.
I'm Swia, and I'm in a relationship too.
Awesome. Kay Bailey?
Hey everybody, I apologize for not showing my face. I'm getting myself together, but
that face is beautiful no matter what. Stop it.
Catrice Bailey, mother of three, single, and yeah.
That's it. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's it.
That's awesome. I was waiting
more,
for
but I said it's more, but my brain is full right now, so I really can't thank y'all. It's gonna be okay.
She said my brain is full, but you have those days. We all have those days where our brain is full. I feel like my brain is full right now. That's why I said today I had so many thoughts going through my head, like what happened to the person who was supposed to come back? She didn't come back yet, but I'm going to get into the guest. The guest of the day is Timeless Thomas. I've known him for a little while. A while. Actually, it's been a while, but until he started telling me about the book, I had no idea that he had been to prison and that he has turned his life around. It really wasn't evident. It wasn't like, it's not like it's any evidence. You can't see it. You don't know it. You can't tell. So the fact that you have written a book to really tell everybody about it speaks volumes. So tell us, introduce yourself the way you do, because I know you're about to come on real big. I'm about to sit back and listen to this. Go ahead. It's on you,
I'm just gonna come on. Cheer. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know how I do it. It's your baby. It's Big DZ, aka Timeless Thomas. I'd like to shout out Philly Oprah, who is one of my mentors on the com. I never really tell you that, but you know you're my mentor. I wrote the book 101 Things You Should Know About Jail, with a bonus chapter of 50 questions that you should ask anyone returning home from prison. Mind you, the bonus chapter alone is worth the price of the book. The average person gets out of jail, friends and family members be newsy, ask them 5 questions, maybe 10, maybe 20. But you really don't know 50 questions that you should ask anyone returning from prison. It's all inside the book. So I ran across some people that say, I don't need to know, I've been to jail. And then I ran across some people that say, well, I'm never going to jail. This is just information. And I believe that everybody should have a copy of the book. And here's the reason why. We're all one mistake, one misunderstanding, one false identification away from not just being incarcerated, but having your first cellmate have maybe 17 years in all push-ups. So you need to know what's going on behind these gates. And that's what it is. It's not an urban novel. It's a handbook. It's a manual. It's gospel. Real quick, one more last thing about the book before we get into the show. This book, now I'm Muslim. This book was published by a Christian publishing company. When I let the brother read it, he said, oh, this is redemption. He said, I got you. And he threw me a little small deal, little teeny weeny bag. And I said, this bag's going to grow. And I ran with it because, our people often go to jail. And Shelly, I'm glad that you said, well, I'm going to connect this with single on a Saturday night, because there is some sisters, you know what I mean, who've had them prison relationships and yada yada.
We won't get into it right now. We won't get into all of it. We're going to get into the topic.
So, there we go.
Yeah. We're going to get into all of that. All right. Red Snapper, you ready?
I'm trying to get ready.
I just want you to introduce yourself before we keep going.
I'm sorry. Hi.
You ready? You ready, baby? You just try to get that camera right. You ready? Go ahead, girl.
No, I had to go through like a lot, but I am comedian, hostess Ray Snapper from Philadelphia. And
published by a Christian.
Oh, I'm sorry. Nice to meet everyone. I know I met some of you before. Nice to see you again. Happy New Year, everybody.
Yes, Happy New Year, everybody. If we did not say that, Happy New Year. Yes, my sister. All right. We're gonna get into this topic. All right, what we're talking about is Patrice said hi, everyone.
Hi.
She's still getting herself together. If you could try something for me, little house, if you could try turning your phone sideways. I don't want to mess you up, but if you could turn it sideways, horizontally, see what they look like. Red Snapper.
Oh, sorry, baby.
No, I just want you to, because it all goes on TV. This is all on TV. Everybody agree? We good? This goes on TV. This is on television. It's on the radio right now. We on right now live on thegrownfolksradio.com. We are talking to timeless Thomas, Big DZ. He wrote the book about everything you need to know about prison. But some people think in their head, why in the hell, excuse my language, why in the hell do I want to know anything about jail? But think about it. How many here has dated or currently dating someone who has been to prison? I will put my hand up. Hand up.
Definitely.
He said currently. You never did Snap?
No, honestly, no. Mm-mm.
No,
not at all.
All right.
Well, I'll tell you why when I get.
We'll get around. Time. So because I am going to go around. and definitely want to know why. I would have thought personally I would never have either, but I have done it several times. So I'm going to go with that. So since we have, some of us have dated people who have been in prison, what should we ask? Timeless. I mean, you're saying we should have asked some questions. What should we have asked? Let me know.
Well, that part there, Shelly, is what I want to. That's why I want people to purchase the book. But there's things that you do need to know. Are you talking about post or pre or during? Like, what part of the dating process are you talking about? Are you referring to?
Okay, so we're all in different stages. I have dated someone who has been to prison, so I want to know what. And I'm saying that 100% I wouldn't do it again. So I'm saying to you, what is something I should have asked prior to?
Prior to them coming home? or prior to you even getting in a relationship?
Getting in a relationship.
Well, you need to know how much time they have, and you need to know what they are incarcerated for. Because see, the good thing about dating somebody in prison, right? You know where they're at. They ain't going nowhere, and you can take your time and have the conventional ancestral blueprint. You know what I mean? You can date for a long time, you know, seasons, years. You can find out your likes and dislikes. You can find out how they're doing in the winter, how they're doing in the summer, how they're doing when their grandma dies. You know, you do a whole bunch of stuff before you interact physically. And that's a blessing. And then that way you can pretty much, you know the person. However, people in prison are con artists too. People can be deceptive for years. I've done it myself. I've had women hold me down, tell them exactly what they wanted to hear for years, and then even 4 and 5 years, and then they come home because unfortunately I did 13 years on the installment plan. I did 2 years, then 5 years, then 6 years. Now I'm done. And then I come right home and then go every direction but that sister's direction. So
I'm sorry, can you stop there? Can we stop right there? I need to unpack that. And then I need you to look this. I don't know which way you're looking. Yeah, look straight at us, because you're looking to the side for me. Yep. Looking straight at us. All right, cool. So
is this straight over here?
I think so, because the other way you was looking to the left. All right, you good. All right.
Okay.
So you saying that you've done this? You've done that whole. I know women who have been distraught over something like that. So why do men do that? Why?
Well, at the time, and I can't speak for all men, but I can speak for myself, and I can speak for a few other men that think like me. When a person is in prison, they are expelled from society. They don't have hardly any resources. So when you meet somebody that has like energy, that's feeling you at that point, you don't care what they look like. They could be fat, skinny, they could have one eye, they could be crippled. If they're coming to visits, answering calls, writing love letters, spraying perfume on them, you do fall in love with them, for real. It's not a game. You actually do develop an extreme amount of feelings. Because like I say, there's somebody's texting and getting on my screen. Like I say, there's nothing in the way. You know, it's the whole world. Y'all two create a world. But then upon release, you're released into the real world where there's choices after choices after choices. So then this is where the problem starts. See, when you're dating them, there's no competition. It's you and them. You're on every phone call. You make sure you're at every visit. Nobody can't even get in their life. You're mad when their own mom comes to see them. You're like, hold on, I thought that was my visit. But in the real world, first of all, they feel like they got to come home and catch up on everything. So you're not even in the picture no more because you already know me. We already did us. Now I got to do all new stuff. And unfortunately, you're not included. And then here's the girl with the shape or with the bank account or the credit or the religion or whatever that I am attracted to. And so now I'm really about to distance myself from you, and I'm going to be able to detach easily. Because when you're incarcerated, you don't hold on to things. At any given time, they can call your name and move you to a different building or a different jail. You don't get used to something. You have to be able to get up and pack up and go. So we can jump in and out of a relationship easy without feelings. And now here, the woman, you guys are more vulnerable. You have more feelings. You put more into it. You're being sincere and genuine. And you can't believe it. You think you're taking this shit personal. You're like, man, I held this dude down for all this time, and then he did what? But you're not even.
I'm sorry. I was exactly. He's about to get me mad. Go ahead.
I got an attitude.
Yeah, but you're not in the mind frame. You're not being empathetic of what the person's going through. You know what I mean? Because
you wait. You want the people out here who holding you down, who falling in love, to be empathetic to what someone's going through, but you're not empathetic to the person who held you down, who's in love, who was expecting the future. So why should the person who's out here being all, hey, I love you, you're my boo, waiting for you, doing everything for you, Why should she be empathetic to you?
Well, maybe empathetic wasn't the best word. Let's say this word. Maybe you need to be realistic, because nobody told you to fall in love that hard. I mean, the person is incarcerated. So I mean, there's something missing there as well. If you're making a conscious decision to date somebody who's already on their back versus somebody who's out here, because there's nobody twisted your arm behind your back. You're making a conscious decision to say, hey, I want to be faithful to this person.
Okay, all right.
Hold on. Let me, if I may.
You can go ahead and interject
if I may. Hold on.
I'm about to fall all the way out the chair. Okay?
Exactly.
Shelly, please don't. Shelly,
I heard you sliding. Here's what he's saying. And this is what we do here on Single on Saturday Night. We talk about these type of things, but this relationship and the compilation and the makeup is the same as any other relationship that somebody decides to get into. It's about the level of communication that you have, not only about the space that you're in, but the space that you're trying to go to. What is the expectations? What are our expectations from you're there, I'm here, I'm holding you down? What happens? And this is what he's saying, 100 things you need to ask, because you need to know, just like with anything, you don't go, well, you do. You start off in college undeclared, but you eventually declare a major so that you know what you're going to do after graduation. When you go to high school, your intention is to get that high school diploma and get out into the world. When you have a job, you have a deadline or a project or something that needs completion. So you have steps that you have to take to get to that place. This is no different, because one, dealing with somebody that's incarcerated is a gamble. And if it's a gamble that you take and you don't get as much communication or information as you can at that time about what's what, then you have nothing to found it on. You're just going on pretty much a whim, because like you said, you got to be empathetic to somebody that held you down. Well, the person made an investment. And it's just like what we do for those of us that have portfolios and stock investments. It ain't no guarantee that thing is going to hit big. So you have to manage it and watch it as you're going along, as well as talking to your advisor, your financial advisor, whomever, to see which way you need to go. Because if you see something starting to bottom out, you might want to start reconsidering those investments and moving some stuff around and seeing how you can better put yourself in a position to benefit. And it's no different than what he's saying. He was in a particular place and mindset because of the structure that, and I'm not saying him, but being incarcerated, and it's a certain structure that you're under. There's a regularity, and you're absent of certain options. You're absent of certain engagements and interactions with people. Then when you get your freedom, it's just that you free and dumb, because now you out here sowing your wild oats like Hakeem. You out here getting up with your homies that you ain't seen. Some people get back into that that mindset of what got them into jail. Some people get write books or get with people that keep them from going back, because they realize, you know what, from when I was growing up, all the real OGs that came out of prison made sure that was a place that I didn't want to go. I don't know who these fools are that's telling them, or got cats believing that shit is excuse my language, that's a status symbol, getting locked up and having street cred or what have you, because it's not. And you're talking to someone that was locked up. So somebody that dates me has dated someone that was locked up. The reasons or the circumstances might have been different, because I said I ain't going to jail for no stupid reason. So one of those non-stupid reasons came up. But the fact of the matter is, I declared while I was dealing with that, how I was going to be after that. So anybody that comes along and gets the conversation, first of all, and Shelly, you know this about me, I got to be comfortable with you and talk. You got to be around a while for me to even start giving you too much personal stuff. But then once we get there, it's a declaration of where we're trying to go, if that's something that's going to be, if it's going to be something that's going to be long term. If you have someone like Red Snapper that says, man, I ain't dating nobody. I don't do jailbirds.
Yeah,
well, in my mind, as a responsible brother.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's start with that one and go to Jay.
Go ahead.
Let's go to Jay real quick.
But you get what I'm saying. It's about a level of communication.
Hey, thanks for cleaning me up. No. That was a beautiful articulation too.
No, it's not just a communication thing. I'm sorry. That's. But I'm going to go to Jay. I'm gonna unpack that in a minute, but before I go on to it, Jay, after hearing what you just heard, right? You're dating someone currently that's in prison, right?
Yes.
Do you feel that it's possible they could come out and that could be the scenario where they're like, oh, I'm out, I'm free, let me be me? Are you concerned about that?
The word concern isn't the word that I would use.
Okay.
I do know that people can do what they want and that anything's a possibility. So I would never say he'll never do this, because you'll never know what somebody will do until they do it sometimes. But what I will say is, let me start here. The man that I am with, I first met him when I was 20 years old, and now I'm 39. And when I first met him and corresponded with him, I reached out to him. He was incarcerated then. He's been incarcerated for 27 years, and he's an author. So that's how I initially got in connection with him. So I wrote him, and at that time in my life when I was 20, for some reason I felt very open to talk to him. Sometimes we find it easier to talk to strangers than people that are our friends. So I'm just letting him know what's going on in my 20-year-old life. And at that time, he was there for me. He wasn't trying to ask me for anything. It was never sexual. He just was giving me advice. It was kind of like he was a big brother or maybe an uncle or something, just a male figure that cares about a young lady that he meets. And I ended up going to Iraq. We lost connection. I ended up getting married. And I hadn't spoken with him for years. During my marriage, I never reached out, even though I thought about him often, because that's how often we talked and wrote letters and things like that. In 2016, when I decided that my marriage was over, that's when I reached back out to him, and we've been in contact ever since. The thing about he and I relationship that I appreciate is he's never asked me for anything as far as monetary. And that was very important to me, because while I was married, my husband was in and out of jail and prison, and he was the extreme opposite, just very demanding financially. So the fact that he never asked me for anything monetary resonated with me. And I feel like he and I are a part in our relationship that I believe the things that he said. He's been very consistent over these, how many years has it been? About 4 or 5 years since we reconnected. Now I know that my ex-husband, he showed me that people do say one thing in prison and come out and do another. If I didn't know, he drove that point home, because that's something that he often did. So I know that it's a possibility, but I'm okay with that. Like, I would love to live the life that he and I talk about having. Like, of course, However, if it doesn't happen, it's not the end of the world. I'm not going to be trying to kill myself. I'm going to keep going and moving forward. And the reason why is I often ask myself the things that I do for him, like emotionally, forsaking on others and things like that. Would I do them if he did nothing in return? And the answer has been yes. I think how we mess up is we do things for people to want something back. I'm going to do this for this person, so they'll do this for me. I'm going to do this so they won't do this to me. When you love that way, we often get left down. So that's where I'm at with that right now.
No, that definitely makes sense. And I understand that you have a very good feeling, and you're mature enough to know that if for some reason it doesn't happen. But my thing is, when they know, you say he's not asking for something, but when someone knows that I'm really just using this person on the outside, I'm just using this person on the outside, and I have no intentions on being with them, and it's not having empathy for either one. That's a hard thing for anybody, because people are emotional. People are really think that they're gonna love this person. It's not a game. And to some people, mental health is real. To some people, it's like, yo, I'm so into this person that I'm already planning the life that they would have when they come out. So it's a hard thing. I've never dated anyone in prison. I've written letters and everything. I'm only dating the people when they come out of prison. So we'll address that in a minute. But I think that how much longer does he have to do, Jeff?
Well, he's actually hoping to get out this year, but the thing about him is he doesn't have a release date. If he doesn't find his own way out, which is monetary, unfortunately, the way America is set up is it's all about capitalism. So if he gets the right figure, he'll be free. But the state of North Carolina wants him to die in prison.
Understood. Understood.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mhm.
All right. So
Mhm.
I
Shelly,
don't
you
know.
know
It's
some
hard.
words, Shelly?
It's hard for me because I know to personal people who were really close to me, who really held these dudes down and got out, was really they're not mentally bad, but they expected to really have a life. So they single parents holding down their family, but still trying to hold down the man while he's in prison. So they're sacrificing. They're sacrificing because they
Can I
believe in the
ask?
future.
May I ask? Are these relationships that were established prior to incarceration, or as in Jay's case, Jay Renee's case, someone that was already incarcerated and they built the idea of the support system for the individual, hoping that when they got out, things would be happy.
Let me say this before you
Okay.
answer that. Even if he and I don't be together, the things that I've done for him, like emotionally support and things like, different things, run around to the post office, I would have done that even if he and I were trying to be together.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Well, to answer that question, so the person that I'm speaking of honestly did this twice. So it was somebody that they had a relationship with from child. You got your boo, your childhood from boo, and you love that boo, but then that boo goes to jail, right? But between those years, you disconnected, but somehow when they get in jail, they reconnect. Oh my gosh, I didn't know. They reconnect, and then they find that love again, and that happened twice to the same person. And she said to the second person said, I did this. I don't want to do this again. He said, I promise you, I will not hurt you. I promise you, I won't do what the other person did. I promise you that I am all in. I promise you that this is it. And she said, but I've been through this. I held the person down. I've been through it. He's like, nope, it's not me. You didn't help that. You didn't help me then. It's me. It's me. It's me. Get out. No sooner than he get out, maybe like a week, 2 weeks later, I'm going back to my baby mama.
I just feel like this.
Okay.
Can I say something?
Go ahead. Because
I feel like people are old enough to monitor their behavior. Everybody is grown. And I just feel like it's really unfair for a person. Okay, I understand you're in prison and everything, and you have this imagination and the other person and they're helping you. But is it fair because you're in prison and because you're going through things mentally and emotionally, physically, or whatever's going on in there, that you come out and hurt the person that was there to you? It's really not right. And I feel like you knew what you was going to do. I'm talking about the people that actually do it, because it is some. Now I know of people that dated someone before they went to prison and held it down for about 5-10 years, and when they came out, they was actually loyal. They got married and everything.
I know them.
I mean, for real, I do. But
yeah, there's some success stories.
When he said, you come out, you see other things, and then one thing. Why the first thing you mentioned, like, it don't matter, they can be fat. Why I gotta be fat? Number one. Number two, we gotta be. But why I gotta be, it don't matter if she fat. Like, fat is like the biggest downfall. Like, come on, cut that.
Queen,
Number two, wait a minute.
Let me respond to that because you shot me in the dark. I used to be fat. I'm Big
Can I
Easy. I
finish?
was really big. But go ahead. Finish? You can. I'm sorry.
Thank you, sir. So, also, it is our responsibility. We all have choices. We can choose. Like me, I personally, I refuse absolutely no, because I know what could come with that, and I don't want to sacrifice my time. Because one thing you can't get back is time. And I'm not the one to be running around, going to the post office, doing all this and that, and then you come out and you do that to me. Because guess what? I may be in prison too. And we're gonna be doing, I'm gonna have to do some time on my head because that hurts. And it's not fair that you take out your personal issues on the person that helped you. And people do it all the time. You always get the bad end of the stick. And I feel like the other guy, I forgot his name, that was talking, I heard what he was saying, but I felt like he was making an excuse. Like people make excuses for people or excuses for themselves for their behaviors. You are grown, you know damn well what you want and what you want to do. Why not just be honest? Why not just be honest? If you know that you're not going to be with that person or have no interest because because you said, you see other things and they may be shapely. If that's not just shape from the rip that you usually would talk to out on the outside, but don't waste her time while you in the inside. Because she can be giving her attention to somebody else that really
want it
and really care.
All right, so let's address that.
Wait a minute, hold up.
This my thing, right? Please listen. When you come down to that, there's a guy a guy I dated recently, right? He never dated big girls before. Of course, I'm a plus size woman. He said to me that the men in jail said to him, "Get yourself a big girl because they know how to take care of you. Basically, they'll do whatever you want. Get yourself a big girl." And he came to me saying this. He's like, "But that's not how I feel. That's not why I'm with you." But it was 100% the truth. Get yourself a big girl because she's going to take care of you. She's going to do this. She's going to do this. Isn't that is that something they speak about while in prison?
All right.
What's the word?
I'm going to chime in on that.
No, we ready for you.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna chime in on that. I did mention big girl, but just for the record, I like bigger women. Just for the record, I do. Like personally, that's my preference. But when I said that, I gave a description of any kind. I said big, one leg, no eye. The point I was making was the physical is not something that a person gets attached to because, mind you, people that have been incarcerated for a while don't even operate in physical form. Their physical is locked up. The body is comprised of three things: mind, body, and soul. So a person that's incarcerated, only their body is locked up. We have mastered our mind and our emotions, and we have mastered our spirit. So the physical is the last thing. And then as far as you said, why would you get out of jail and hurt somebody? That's not the intention. That's not the intention at all. What happens is things change. I mean, we're just as in love. I can specifically remember being all the way fully in love. Couldn't wait to get the letters. I'm getting the Holy Ghost when the mail's coming to see if my letter's there. I'm smelling the thing. I could specifically remember all those feelings. And then I can also specifically remember coming home and then somebody waved this in front of my nose or wagged that in front of my eyes. And then the next thing you know, I'm detaching. So it's not like I say, well, as soon as I get out, I'm going to diss her.
That's because right there, you was weak. You was weak-minded. You was not strong.
Yeah, people are weak. People are weak. Yeah, that happens. People are weak. Let me tell you what is really. Hold on, sister. Hold on. I'll let you speak. What's your name, Sister Reds? Hold on. Your name, Sister Reds. Who are you?
Red Snapper.
Red Snap. Check this out right quick.
Red Snapper.
Red Snapper, my queen. Check this out. It's not just that somebody was weak. It's that somebody is human. People are only human. Maybe they didn't work on willpower the whole time they were locked up.
There you go. I'm
not saying when you came out that you had to be this angel of a man, because really, I know, I have an older brother. Men are hunters by nature. I get it. But my thing is, if you really, you didn't take the time to think about her feelings, that other person. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I said you was weak-minded. You was really weak because you allowed something visual to grab your attention that quick.
Okay.
Wait.
Wait. If I may.
Go ahead. I really just want to share this.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead, brother.
Go ahead, brother.
Well, I just want to.
Please. You're the guest. Go ahead.
Okay, well, okay. I just want to say to you, like, change, it comes unintentionally. How many times have you wanted a particular car or vehicle, and then when you get to the car lot, the salesman talk you into something different? You drive away with not what you came to get. I mean, it's not that you were weak. You seen something different. You liked it a little better. You made an instant life-altering decision. You know what I mean? So it can happen.
That's material. We talking about somebody's
also when you're incarcerated and you're dealing with a woman, that's all that's on your plate is that woman. When you come home, you have all these expectations. You got to get a job. You got to do what your parole officer said. They're expecting you to do this, do that. You got to pay your fines. You want to catch up with your kids. You got to get with your homies. Okay, and then the woman, it's that's not just what's consuming my mind anymore. She's not the only one renting space in my head. So the whole big lovey-dovey dream thing is wearing off slowly until it's either gone or until you do something to bring it all the way back. You got to step up, because first you wasn't against nobody, it was just you and him. Now it's you, him against the whole world. You got the whole world you're in competition with. So you have to realize that too.
I don't think that, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but that's an excuse to go and, you know, it's just an excuse to me.
This is
we're
going to agree to disagree. We're going to agree.
Wait.
It's the understanding of male and female, the way we see it, the way we view male and female. I think that's where we not understanding. As women, we think more with our hearts. Like we want an emotional connection. As men, they visual. That's what they are. That's what it is. And when somebody come out of prison, they looking at all the visual. All the ass and all the tits is out. Like, that's just the real. And
that's
to think that
this is why we,
right. So as a woman, as a female, what you do is you always center your values. What are your values? And make sure your values are being taken care of.
If I may,
as far as like
your values need to be taken care of. You need to center yourself. Because as women, oftentimes we take care of the men. And we'll take care of them, and we'll take care of them, and we'll take care of them. But what we don't do is we don't center ourselves within every relationship. So whatever your values are, ask yourself what your values are. How do you center yourself, and make it a clear statement of how you get your values. And when you don't get your values, and when he doesn't give you your values, then you be strong enough to leave, or you know that you decided to stay.
Yes.
Amen.
I'm gonna let Storm go.
And
go ahead, Storm.
Now, what I loved in that whole diatribe and that whole exchange is everybody was saying the same thing, but because of how they felt about the subject emotionally, they gave a personal response that should apply to everyone. It was said that it sounded like I was making excuses. Anybody that's been around me know I'm probably one of the straightest shooters you're going to ever talk to, because of the plethora of experiences and background that I have. Again, if I don't tell it, nobody would ever have known that I was ever incarcerated, and incarcerated more than once, because of what they see now and how I move and communicate, which is what was just said, which I said early on. It's about communication. That is setting your standards is a level of communication. Not being willing to even bother yourself or engage or entertain someone that's in that position. That's part of your communication. Me telling you that all the communication in the world and being behind the wall, and as a person that is not behind the wall never knows the experiences that that person is going through, because one thing that God made us is free willing. He didn't make us robots. He didn't give us a mind to think and lay out what's going to happen, whether we see it coming, whether it's contrived, or whether it's instantaneous and spontaneous. And then there's also an action and a consequence, which is either a reward or a benefit. So again, everybody's saying the same thing. And one thing that I was going to say about the reason why it seems like a man gets out and then acts different and change is because the level of self-esteem. Chris Rock said in a show years ago, a man is only as loyal as his options. Well, guess what? That still doesn't apply to everyone, because his options might be plentiful, but his target and his loyalty lies with whatever individual or the person that either held him down, that has his eye, that's big, thick, fat, chunky, slim, skinny, disappearing, looking anorexic. It's all in your the individual makeup. And what happens, like anything, we have to see it. And I always say, if we communicate, seeing it from the other person's perspective, more times we will understand what we have to do better because we're so busy putting our expectations and only our understanding in place that if we never hear from the other person, then you never know because you're only getting half the story. So just listening for those last few minutes, everybody is saying the same thing. But what we kind of have to do sometimes is just step back and see the entire picture. Does a brother, because I just have to use this argument. I hate to say argument. The brother comes out, right? He's loyal. He's only for this woman and her family or however the makeup is, right? But because he's a convict, he can't get a job. Because he's a convict, he doesn't have voting rights. Because he's a convict, he doesn't have a job, he doesn't have a bank account. Because he doesn't have a bank account, because he's a convict, he can't provide financial stability for himself. He's going out, and next thing you know, he's leaning back toward not leaving you to another woman, but going to whatever's going to make him some money that got him put in jail or can get him put in jail. And the woman saying, oh, you ain't doing enough. You can't get a job. You better go flip some burgers. Well, guess what? Nowadays, when you even go to flip burgers, if you don't have a high school diploma, GED, and or have been convicted of particular crimes, you can't even work in fast food. So again, from the emotional standpoint, we'll just see, I held him down and I did this and I did that. You sure did. And if you get a lawyer brother that come out from behind the wall and can't be a sustained providing individual in the real world, then we have that other emotion because they say, a romance is a nuisance without finance. So we have to look at that side of it too. You held this brother down and he's trying to do the right thing and he's loyal to you, but you think he's just sitting around BSing and playing PS4, 5 or Xbox, whatever. And he's like, look, I tried to go get a job. They ain't hiring. And you ain't trying to hear it because you got a mortgage, you got daycare, you got car insurance, you got gas. Again, we got to see it from the other side as well. So that's all I'm saying. And I get it because this is a beautiful conversation to have. But remember, there's your personal feelings and then there's the big picture. And sometimes we have to look at the big picture. And sometimes a part of that big picture is standing on the other person's shoes and looking at yourself.
And I'm gonna go with that. And Snapper, I know we as people sometimes we get upset, but listen to this. Even from people from the outside. Look at people from the outside. And I'm gonna be very transparent. So even on the outside, right? I could be with somebody in love with them one day, right? And I decide I don't want to be with them anymore. I decide I just don't. I want something different, or I decide. That doesn't mean I'm a weak person. It doesn't mean I'm out here. I'm out here in this world. He's out here in this world. But I decide one day that I want something different, or I want this. So it doesn't. I feel like I don't want to hold it because that person is in prison. The only thing that got me was the empathetic, because that's not the word to use with that one, because we all empathetic. But I could be on the outside and decide I want something different. You know what I mean? I have done it personally myself. Period. Been in love one day.
Yes, you have. Yes.
So wait a minute, Shelly. Wait a minute. You was on the outside, right? And so the relationship that you was in, that you chose to say, hey, I don't want it no more, was that relationship like perfect? Was it good? Everything was going good? And you just decided like that? You have done that? Then you are a player.
Right. She's a boss.
How you gonna judge? Wait. Go, fam.
She's a boss anyway. But listen, you said something about the empathetic. You said that's the part you was not feeling, right?
That was the only word that I was like, because. But I think we should be empathetic to each other, not one over the other. We should be empathetic to each other. She should have empathy, and you should have empathy. Go ahead.
Right, but see, the thing about that is that's like you can't really feel what a person that's incarcerated is feeling if you've never been incarcerated. It's almost one of them things like when your son get killed. You don't know what to call your girlfriend and say because your son didn't get killed. So you can't feel her. You know what I mean? You can have some love and I'll pray for you, but you can't say, yeah, I feel you, girl. You can't say that. You can't get you can't get empathetic with her. You could be sympathetic, so there's no possible way that you can understand what a prisoner is going through. And I decided I will reveal some of these 50 questions. I'm going to give y'all a sneak peek.
Right, yeah. Before you say that sneak thing, let me say something to that. I understand what you're saying. We don't know what someone inside is going through. However, it's almost like we're supposed to say, because you're inside, you've had it harder than the people outside. Now, and I know this is probably very unpopular, what I'm about to say, but how can you say the person outside has to live every day hustling, bustling, trying to pay these bills, raising these kids, trying to do everything under the sun? We both got it hard. Yes, prison, I will never know, thank you, Jesus, I will never know that side of it. But the fact is, we both got it hard. You know, when you're out here trying to continue to raise the kids, when your man went to jail, when you're out here trying to do it, this life is freaking hard. If it was that easy, there wouldn't be the homeless people. It's hard. Life is hard for everybody.
Hold on. With that being said, right, Shelly, with that being said, what you just said, right?
Yes, sir.
I would have to totally agree with you. People do have it hard on the outside and they do have it hard on the inside, but it's just two different struggles. But that's definitely true. I know people people in jail that are doing way better than people on the streets. So you are right in that aspect. I 100% agree with you, but it's still a different harder. See, it's a difference in you doing hard out here on the streets, but you're around resources. You can take a vacation. You can get some counseling. You can do something about this struggle. In jail,
you could go in jail. You can get a whole degree.
Hold on, let me shoot this to you. I don't care what happens to you. Your grandma can get raped in a Chinese store. You got run in your chest. You can't come home. Nothing can happen. Like, you're in there. You made some kind of mistake that got you expelled from society. You can get the big gay Shelly that weighs 300, all muscle, 17 years worth of push-ups, and he might decide he want to choke you out tonight. It's very real. You think a man's going to come home and be like, yeah, they took my butt. He's not going to tell you that. So these are things that I got these 50 questions in here for you to understand. When a person does 10 or 20 years or 5 or 8 years, that didn't go smoothly. You can best believe there have been some trials and some tribulations, a little bit of borderline, maybe some homosexual. I don't even care if it was a sneak peek in the shower. It's something going on. So you need to under and understand. It plays on the psychology of a person. They're antisocial. They haven't been in society. They've been around savages. Jail is housed with the worst of the worst, the scum of the earth. That's where the rapists, the robbers, the murderers, the killers are. And I don't know why you would pick your boyfriend from there. It's the worst place in the world. For real.
Wait. Say that one more time.
That's not saying that there aren't some great kings there. That's not saying that there aren't some refined people there. But even the kings and the refined people are still forced to live with the savages and the uncivilized. Every day, every hour, every minute. The refuge is when you come to the visit for 45 minutes. The refuge is when I read your letter for 10 minutes and the feeling is good till I get the phone call next week and call you. I get out of a month, I get about 4 good hours of you out of a month, and the rest of my reality resides in the pits of hell belly of the beast. So right, cool. and then you want that, and then you want me to come home and be loyal? No, I have to experience the world. Let me get my feet in the sand first. Let me get my joints wet first. Let me come home to 18 months worth of seeing what's going on. I'm coming home as a Flintstone. It's a Jetson world. So let me see some stuff. It's no disrespect. Now, here's the girls that I do deal with. I deal with the women that's grown, that let me play, that say, look, do what you do long as you know where you're supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? That night, you know where you're supposed to lay, you know who, where your loyalty lies. Because that's more realistic. You know I'm going to the club. You know I'm Big DZ. You know I got a couple of dollars. You know I'm going to have my way. So don't get yourself all psyched up like you're the only person in the world. Okay? And what I'll do out of respect for you is I won't bring none of my dirt near you or your circle. You won't have to have none of your girlfriends call you and say, hey, you know what? DZ out here doing this. I will be respectful and take it across the bridge, down south. It won't be nowhere where you have to be disrespected, embarrassed, or myself. That's how I play. That's how I play.
And that's what I
said. Wait. All right, let's go. All right, so DZ, when you come, I think Grown Folks Radio wants to say something. Then DZ, I want you to break down some more questions because one of those questions got us to here. Grown Folks, Disco, what do you want to say?
I've been listening and I have not heard any accountability. I keep hearing about this struggle in prison. I've been to prison. I've been to the penitentiary. One thing I have not heard is, okay, you have your struggle. You put yourself in that struggle. I have not heard anybody say, I haven't heard anybody say, I looked in the mirror and I put myself there.
Let me
struggle. Hold on, brother. I'll let you talk.
We didn't even talk about accountability yet. We didn't get to why you got there. We were talking about relationships. But go ahead,
and that's not a good statement to make, because everybody in jail did not do whatever they're in jail for.
That's
as
true.
We've seen by.
What I'm saying is, you're saying what you're saying is that people on the outside have it better than those on the inside. Okay, that may very well be true, whatever. But you put yourself there. Nobody gets drafted, or 90% of people that are brothers and sisters that are in prison, they weren't drafted into prison.
Well, some people are there because they had underdeveloped minds and they were just making bad decisions. And then some people are not supposed to be there. And then some people are over sentenced and they should have been home. But what is your point, let me say?
My point is that to expect somebody to feel empathetic or that way, and you just say, oh, well, my struggle is this, my struggle is that, my struggle is this. How can you expect someone to actually sit there and worry about everything that's going on with you when they're dealing with day to day to day? You cannot run I've met so many brothers when I was up that actually was trying to run their household from the penitentiary.
This is true.
That is mind-boggling to me. You put yourself there. They did not aid in you putting yourself there. You put yourself there. So when you come out, that is your responsibility to get yourself back up on it, not there.
Okay, brother. No one man is an island, and everybody's circumstances and situation is different. Some people, went to do what they had to do for their family, whatever. And that wasn't really the conversation. We were talking about relationships in prison and how that stuff is empathetic. We're not talking about empathetic to your crime. We weren't even talking about that part. Everybody's there, they're there. However they got there, they're there. And when they come home, regardless of however they got there, they have to have a transition. And we were talking about the transition as far as in the relationship.
Right.
We know that there's going to be a whole bunch of transitions.
All right,
if
so
you allow me to finish, I was still there. If you allow me to continue.
Pardon me, brother. Go ahead and speak.
How you start is how you finish. So if you're not if you're not real with yourself, if you're not to thy own self be true, you're not being real with yourself. So how you gonna be real with somebody else when you get out? You knew what you were doing.
How you start is not how you finish. People go in one way and then they refine themselves and come out a whole different way. So I'm not going to necessarily.
All right, so let me go. I don't want to stay on that stop. I want to stay there.
All right, Shelly. Yeah, you take
Shelly,
that.
But Shelly, hold on, Shelly.
I want to keep it moving because Swaya had a good.
Shelly, before you go, can I just mention something? Hi guys, it's me. I'm Sheree.
Hi, baby.
Hey, I've been listening to this whole conversation.
Happy New Year.
And I'm like, Happy New Year. And I was like, yeah, lots of good points. But I think what is like wraps it up is the idea of trauma. Like if you're dating somebody who is in prison, you're dating somebody in the midst of trauma, like 24/7 trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's how did I get here? What am I experiencing in this 24 hours? Or however long the period extends, and then into the trauma of then re-entering into a whole new world, which is what he was talking about with the Flintstones and the Jetsons. And so the question is, the thing is, there's a responsibility on both sides of every relationship. And if you, I did maybe miss a little bit in the beginning when we were kind of like talking about, like, is it somebody that you went into prison and you were already with that person, or is it somebody that you met
there you go
while you were in prison?
What are your circumstances?
Like also a different degree of responsibility. And then also, like Shelly said about being in a relationship, sometimes people just change their minds, and everybody has the right to do that, married or not. However, my question is, was there marriage? Because if there's marriage that we're talking about in this relationship, that's a different degree of commitment. Then, I mean, you met somebody, they were in prison going through a trauma, and you were like, yeah, that's my boo. You made a choice right there, and maybe that wasn't completely thought through. We're then looking at whoever the person is going into the relationship and their backgrounds. and their own situations. What baggage is everyone bringing to the relationship? What kind of self-analyzation do they have for themselves and for the other person? And so education and understanding of human beings is just, there's just so much going on there. I mean, there's too much to unpack. So, okay, I'm done.
But this is why we try to compartmentalize it. But what happened?
All right, where we at? So understanding what Sheree is saying, good thoughts, good. We're all trying to unpack it. No needs, you know what I mean? Just want to really, it is a whole lot going on with that. Timeless Thomas is the guest who wrote the book, and he's coming from his perspective. And so whatever he says is coming from his perspective. If he decides that he wants to be with someone while he was in prison, and then on the outside say, "Yo, boo, I'm done," that's his perspective. That's his life. That's his choice, right?
His right.
So he's coming from his perspective. And I believe Swaya, I hope I'm saying it right. Swaya, I'm sorry, I'm saying it wrong, but she made a valid point. Swaya, I said it wrong again. I'm sorry. Swaya said it in the comments. She said, was he monogamous, a monogamous type of person in the beginning? So Thomas, Deezy, I'm just gonna call you Deezy.
Go ahead, that's cool.
Deezy from the jump might not have been a monogamous person. That may not be his personality. He may be one of those people. We all have our things. And I'm not in prison, but I have my things. You know what I mean? I may not always want to be that thing. So he might have his thing. So Thomas is speaking from his perspective, right? This is his book. He wrote it, and he's talking from his perspective on what he did, right? Being transparent. He didn't have to say that, yo, I was in there, I love this boo, and then when I got out, I had to go. That's his perspective. So let's go to another point in your book, because these things are real, because a few of us have dated people that have been in prison or dated people who have come out of prison. And I believe it because of the prison rate, period. Think about it. Because of the rise of the prison rate, period, the odds that us as single women won't be with a man who might have been in prison, those statistics don't say much. We may have to be with one that has been to prison, and not all that have been to prison are bad people or haven't changed or won't be faithful. Everybody is different. The guy I've been with that was in prison for 17 years is the most remarkable human being on this planet. Honorable human being, period. But he was in prison for 17 years, but he's still a remarkable human being. He didn't come out and become a dog and say, I'm going to do this. He's a remarkable human being. But that's him. That ain't Deezy. Deezy like, yo, I want that skins right there. And I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Deezy. I'm going to let you go ahead. And then Storm, go next.
Well, the sister who had just spoke, that she brought up a great point. That word trauma, and that's what it boils down to. And then you just brought up an excellent point too, Shelly, because that's all part of my 50 questions. It's like, what were you doing before you came to jail? Were you an addict before you came to jail? Who were you? It depends on what level, and we're still talking about relationships. What level did you get in this relationship with this person? Was it prior to them going to jail? Did you meet them while they were incarcerated, or did you meet them when they just came home? And it's sort of like a tell-all, John, because if you're dating somebody in jail, right, 90% of the time, like me, I'm just going, I can't say somebody, even though I am, but I ain't gonna blow up everybody's spot. Like me, I play. So you can believe I'm gonna have a couple nurses. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have female school teachers. You know what I mean? They feel me, I feel them. And then I got game, you know what I'm saying? I talk a little bit. So it's very easy for me to get women. And when you in jail, you on top of your game. You at your best. You got your waviest hair, your skin is glowing, your muscles is diesel. These women are locked back there with you. They smell them sweaty means. And they feeling it too. They wear their tightest tights. So just remember, you only getting a visit and a letter. These women is every day. They wife you for real. You'll just never know. So yeah, they getting hit in the mop closet. But all of that has a part to do with it too.
What you just say? They're getting hit.
They're hitting the mop closet. Yeah.
And I'm saying, especially when the nigga get you $1.
Can you explain that though? Can you explain that, Slang?
What's the mop closet?
Sex in the mop closet.
I'm literally talking about the mop closet is a hotel. You go in there, you knock her off. I'm saying, and if a brother got a couple of dollars, Oh, that's definite. That's a done bun. That's definite. Because these sisters only make X amount of paycheck. They got 3 or 4 kids. They'll do anything for $100, $200, 500. You gonna get a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, you up against all that too. But that's the part that you'll never know. But the thing was dating somebody in jail. But that's all part of it too. So that adds to it too. And then, but I'm sticking with my main thing because this was the dating part. You know, just the realism of somebody coming home and they have to readjust. And then you become secondary. When you were primary, you now become secondary to someone's transition back into the community. And some people think that's a hard blow, and then some people say, you know, whatever. But that's the reality of it. That's the reality of it. And I can speak for everybody on that one, every last person coming home, because you become secondary because they have to do so much readjusting. They just can't be up under you all day, every day. Yeah.
I guess that's a challenge that we as women have to make a conscious decision. Is that something that we want to do? Is that something that we're going to accept? Because
it's part of the package. You got some it's part of the package. It's real. They got to come home and readjust. So I mean, you have to understand that.
You got some women that are lonely as well as you are lonely, and they willing to do whatever for some type of attention. So yeah, right. If you got somebody writing you love letters, little letters, and you know, over the phone and filling you up, telling you how beautiful and I can't wait to do this when I get out, all these promises. You know, this is it could be something on their mental stature as well, because they may not be confident.
You got to share your children that fan clubs.
They depend on, you know, the letters and the attentions just as much as you do.
Yeah, but, everybody likes to the ego.
Bad thing, the sad thing out of that happens that these women are really, you know, in tune into the person that they talking to, and they have these expectations, and they not even like strong enough to think like, okay, this person could be going through this, he going, you know, mentally, you know, psychologically, all kinds of stuff, and they not being as though they may not. And I'm not going to say women that accept this don't love themselves, but somewhere, something like I'm conscious enough to know that it's not a good idea to date someone that's in prison. Because and then there's different crimes that you have to consider too.
But Snap, that's you know what I mean, we all of us have a choice to choose whether we're going to date someone in prison or just coming out of prison. Now you would think, all right, does it come down to whether you have low self-esteem, high self-esteem? I dated someone who just came out of prison recently. Not in like past. I'm talking about in my adult years. And so did I have lower self-esteem because I dated this man who literally clearly was in the right same state of mind that DZ is in. He's coming out, he's trying to readjust his life, he's trying to get his job, he's trying to do all this adjustment. So is it on me or is it on him that I go ahead, I get with him, and then he's going through the same thing he's saying, the same fight, that same fight for adjustment, that same fight for trying to get himself together, that same fight. And and he's saying, but I love you. But even in that love doesn't mean that he really loves you. He's really just trying to get a meal. He's really just trying to have a place to lay his head and get paroled to. You know what I mean?
What do we call?
It's not even about a meal.
What do we call that? What do we call them here on our show? Wait, hold on.
Oh.
What do we call them here on our show?
Homosexual.
Homosexual.
That's another thing that's scary. That's another thing I'm gonna say. That's another thing about with me. You mentioned earlier. What's your name? Thomas.
Yeah, Timeless Thomas.
Okay. The being in prison and, you know, not dating other men, but, you know, being in prison and, you know, getting raped. Not saying that people get raped in prison, which they do, but, you know, homosexuality and all kinds of stuff. So it's like, those are things that I personally think about too. You know, I wouldn't want to be with a man that slept with another man. But like you said, you got to ask questions, but people can tell you anything. You can ask as many questions as you want.
That's a whole nother level.
That is a whole nother.
Disco, you trying to say something? Hold on, Disco, what? Yeah.
Let me read some of these questions to you,
Whether
Shelly.
it's another man or another
Wait. So everybody's talking at the same time. Remember, we are right here on grownfolksradio.com. This is all over the TV, so we want to make sure the television people out there in the world do not get confused. Right now, Disco, you have something to say quickly. Then Thomas, I want to hear some more from the book because you know we want to make sure this book sells because we want to make sure. Listen, when you come out and you doing your thing as an entrepreneur, you want to sell books. You want to make sure he doesn't have to worry about getting a job with somebody else for a person turning them down because he's been in prison. So yeah, we want you to sell them books. Disco, what do you have to say? And then Tom.
Thank you, Shelly.
I want to go back to that original statement that she just made about men being in homosexual relationships or whatever. Would you ask those same questions if you had those same concerns if that person hadn't been to prison?
Hell yeah. Nowadays.
Oh yeah, nowadays.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Yes. The point that I'm making is those are the type of questions that should be asked, whether he's been to prison or not. Those are questions that should be asked, period.
Yeah, I agree.
We not all, whoever agrees. I agree with that. If you want to ask it, if you want the answer, you can ask, have you ever been with a man? Are you bisexual? But it's everybody's personal preference. Doesn't mean just because someone's been with a man, they're gay. So it does not mean that. So you can still date someone who has been with a man and they might want a woman. Up to you. All personal preference. No need to judge here. Thomas, go ahead.
All right, this is the treat. I'm gonna give y'all the 50 questions. This is the 50 questions. I'll give you some of them.
Yeah, just give a couple of them because you want.
Yeah. They're not. Well, I read fast, but they're not in any specific order. Here you go. Number 1, what are you planning on doing with your life now that you're out of jail? Number 2, do you have any probation or parole, or are you currently under any aftercare supervision? Number 3, do you have any employment lined up? Number 4, where do you plan to work and what kind of employment are you seeking? Number 5, do you have any significant job skills or did you learn a trade while you were incarcerated? Number 6, well, number 6 is basic. I just said, what was jail like? Number 7, what, if anything, did you learn from your experience? Number 8, do you regret what it was that got you convicted? Number 9, was it hard for you to do time? If so, in what ways? Number 10, how is your credit? If it's bad, what plans do you have to rebuild it? Number 11, do you miss anything about jail? If so, what? Number 12, if you could take the whole experience back, would you? Number 13, do you plan to further your education? If so, how? Number 14, were you on street drugs or alcohol prior to jail? Are you in recovery? Number 15, have you had any drug or alcohol treatment or counseling? Do you think that it is working for you? Number 16, were you ever overcome by peer pressure? 17, have you ever been raped in jail? 18, are you gay? 19, did you ever have a homosexual encounter? 20, how did you deal with your hormones while you were in jail? 21, what did you do to pleasure yourself? 22, have you ever contracted any diseases? If so, which ones? 23, have you been tested for diseases since you've been out of jail? If so, which ones? 24, did you get any tattoos while you were in jail? 25, how was the tattoo equipment sterilized? 26, how is medical care in jail? 27, did you get hurt or injured while you were in jail? If so, in what way? 28, do you think you can stay out of jail now? 29, do you feel as though prison has institutionalized you? 30, what support or financial who supported you financially while you were in jail? 31, did you miss your family, friends, and loved ones? Okay, how much? 32, did you meet anyone in prison that you plan to stay in contact with when you get out of jail? 33, where do you plan on living and how long do you plan on living there? 34.
I wouldn't say no more because I want to somebody.
You gotta sell books. You gotta sell books. Sell the book.
Well, it's still 101 things you should know. That's just the bonus chapter. Right, that's the bonus chapter. But you're right. You're right. You're right. I was going turkey game.
He was like, listen, it was like we was in class.
Right. Well, it's a whole bunch. That wasn't even enough. That's the bonus chapter. But you're right. Yeah.
Good bonus.
everybody was listening while you was going turkey ham, and we were listening like we're in class, but you still got to sell the product. The
I
fact
appreciate that
is,
too, man.
just in those 32
Yeah, they are.
questions, right? In those 32 questions, which LaShawn, hey LaShawn, 34 questions. What's up, Monica? Happy New Year, y'all. You covered everything that we sat here and discussed
Mhm.
for the time that we've been on the air. And this is why we say you have to sit back and view the whole entire picture while also maintaining your purview. Because where you may believe, I don't want to say where you're thinking, where you may believe someone is not being considerate of how you feeling, where you're coming from, where they're coming from. A book like this or a conversation like this covers a multitude of sins, because once these questions are answered, you now have a foundation.
Can
And
I
once
stop
you
you for
see
one
that
second?
you
Let me
have,
They're
stop
really
you.
great questions.
Let me stop everybody. There's some
Hey,
background noise, and this
Well,
comes out on television. So I need to. Anybody got background? If you have background noise, please mute. Please. Thank you. Go ahead, Storm.
once you lay this foundation, now you have those progressives to your checkpoints going forward. And something was said about um, if you're taking care of a family, you're dating, you're doing, or you're trying to do this and doing that and trying to hold somebody down, well, that goes back to the beginning. What are your standards? Because if you had it so hard out here in the world trying to maintain your mortgage, trying to take care of your children, trying to get your job, get yourself back and forth, get your lady hustle on, if you wasn't married to this man or had a previous relationship that was sanctioned between y'all before he got incarcerated, why are you trying to date somebody behind the wall? If you don't have your stuff together on the outside of the wall, why you got the time and energy to be worried about somebody behind the wall and then say, well, I'm out here doing this, I'm out here doing that? Because a real G is gonna tell you, well, go ahead and do what you got to do, mama. But the dude that is locked down with limited options, manipulative, emotionally, psychologically, he might be gaming, he might be a player. Listen, you might have been one of the few that he has already lined up anyway. So when he comes out, he's not just being disloyal to you, but he had his whole squad lined up so that he had, okay, her period
somewhere to
is on the
land.
28th to the 1st. Okay, I'm over here. Okay, her period is from the 2nd to the 8th. Okay, I'm over here. And you know what I'm saying? So again, see the big picture. Be willing to accept the hard knock. And yes, there is trauma. Just like if it's trauma in the real world, if we talking about people that aren't being put in jail for taking the lives of unarmed, cooperating, melanated individuals, and they never see a day of jail time, you got trauma out here that we dealing with. A 6'2", 5'6", brown-skinned black young man, adult, trying to make his way to work, has the wrong engagement with the wrong person at the wrong time. He doesn't even get to go to jail.
Truth.
So we have to look at a bigger picture. We're talking about relationships and dating. So that's why I said we have to compartmentalize. Was this somebody you were with before they got incarcerated? Is this somebody you met via pen pal? Are you like in a Jay Renee situation where you knew this person, you lost contact, you regained communication, and there is a mutual affection there for each other? And herself being the strong queen that she is, knowing ahead of time, he could come out and never be with me the next day he gets out ever again. But I know what I did for him, I did because that's what I would have done anyway.
And that's
And
because
So
it's
again,
something she
everybody has a
wanted to
different
do.
scenario situation. There
I
you
got a
go. It's a
question.
choice. And again, I think, and that was said earlier, there were choices made. And like I was saying, God gave you a free will to make choices. We talking about relationships. Some people don't even have a relationship with God, but are
Um,
fighting to have a relationship
We're
with somebody
continuously talking
incarcerated.
about the relationship with self, though. Some people don't have a relationship with self.
I got a question for all of y'all. I got a question.
okay.
I'm great. I'm great getting inventive. I'm great. Flip the script. All we talking about is men in jail. What about brothers, females that come out of prison?
I mean, all the things, same thing applies. I mean, we did a whole show
Does
on the
it really?
female. Right now, we're doing the males. I get it. We did the whole. So
Yeah,
the same rules apply.
we
The
talked about
same rules apply. I want to go back
same rules
to
apply.
I want to go back to Thomas's question. Every question on there was for not just for jail. That's something you need to ask every person
outside
you're
of
dealing with. Listen,
thank you.
every one of them questions is something you need to ask anybody, male, female, whatever. Ask everybody. Your credit score, your jail, what you plan to do. All of those things are questions you need to ask everybody because it doesn't just, it's not
questions
just
for dating.
Questions for dating.
Yeah.
So,
That's what I was saying earlier. That's why I was asking earlier about the homosexual. Like, you should be asking them questions
anyway
from the gate.
Right, but Thomas, I'm saying you got a whole nother book. If you want to go listen, I'm gonna take this chapter and do a small ebook and do a whole nother sale and say, listen, these are questions for dating because those are interesting. You need to find out whether somebody got a disease, had the disease, did all them questions you had.
Like you tell me, Shelly, save that. That might be a project me and you guys speak about. We're gonna tuck that. We're gonna tuck that. I see the bigger picture. I see where you're going with that.
You see where I'm going with that? All I'm saying.
I do see. Yes, my eyes are wide. Yes, I do. And that's why I tell people that's my pitch. I tell you, the bonus chapter alone is worth the price of the book. That's not even the 100. Imagine that. That's not even the 101 things you should know about jail. I'm telling you, ask that stuff when they come home. I'm giving you 101 things. That's in a thing too. They're numbered. And then it's the whole book itself. I give it to you from A to Z. I take the reader on a journey from the time of the arrest or the alleged offense through the back of the cop car, through the downtown to the precinct, through the court system, through the county to get sentenced to a 3 to 6 year bid in the penitentiary, and then to come home on probation or parole. I take you through the whole process. After reading this book, you can get in a conversation with somebody and lie and tell them that you were in jail. I give you every single detail, every drop of water that came out the shower spigot. I give you every detail, every meal in the chow hall that was cold or warm, every detail. Who should be on the top and bottom bunk? Every detail. I give you everything. I give you everything. What guard's going to bring it in? I give you everything. So it's worth, the book is worth it, and it's information. You know what I mean? It's information. You know your nephew is probably likely to go to jail where his friend is just by being urban. You know, unfortunately, statistically. Yeah, it's a good piece of information. And then, like Shelly said, skip all the rest. I like the 50 questions. Something, the books, you know what I mean? It's a good look. I promise you that.
LaShawn asked, how do you purchase the book? LaShawn asked.
You can get it from Black and Nobel. Of course, that's where I would ask everybody to go initially. You know what I'm saying? You can get it from Black and Nobel in Philadelphia, blackandnobel.com, or weshiptoprisons.com. And then you know why they got his hand in it. You can get it on eBay. You can get it on Amazon. And also on whereresources.com. That's the publisher. And then you can just holler at me. You can DM me, and I'll mail it right to you. You send me $29.99, and I will ship it to you ASAP. Just being honest, just to be honest, it's $20 if you see me in person. I'll sign it for you, but for me to mail it, it's $29.99. But just to be honest, when I do mail it, I have ran into some COVID problems, and people usually don't get their book for like 14 days. So if you get it from the store, you pick it up, of course, and then eBay, and then they send it out a little bit faster. I think they guarantee you 1 or 2 days or something. But if you just want to keep the money in the Black family, yeah, send it to me, and I'll ship it right up to you.
All right, can you put your I'm not sure if you're familiar with chat, but can you say your social media right now? Your Instagram, your Facebook.
My social media is Timeless Thomas on Facebook. That's like a watch with no time, spelled the regular old way, Timeless. And Thomas, like Thomas English Muffins. That's who I am on Facebook. And you'll see this picture on my Facebook page as my profile picture. On Instagram, I'm Timeless Thomas on Instagram too. That's the personal me. And then also, you'll see a picture of my face on the Instagram. And then I have another page just for my book, another Instagram page. And you'll see me and Hakeem from Black and Nobel, CEO of Black and Nobel. You'll see me and him holding the book up. And that page is called jailbook_101. And you DM me in any of them things. Plus, you guys got to realize I'm an expert at being an expert. You know, I can take a racehorse and make it faster. I know things that only 5 people in the world know. So, but the brother Storm, he's real intelligent too, because he took the things that I said and articulated it and let me know that, you know what I mean, he been around the block a few more times than me. And I appreciated that, because every time I think I'm the man, I always meet somebody that's a little more fly. And I don't like to be the smartest dude in the room. When I'm the smartest dude in the room, I know I'm in the wrong room. I like to grow. So I definitely grew a lot just from being on this platform right here today. And again, I appreciate you, Shelly. Love you forever, always did. And yeah, this is a real good look.
Absolutely.
Buy the book.
We are definitely timeless. Thomas, buy the book. Definitely great information. It's funny when it comes down to thinking about which somebody's going to jail. When the people I've dated don't necessarily, some of them don't talk about what jail was like. They don't want to share the experience. LaShawn sent us a friend request to you, Timeless Thomas. That's like a tongue twister. Sorry, but anyway, so I remember that they don't necessarily talk about it. He didn't talk about the experience. He didn't want to talk about it. He didn't want to go into details. And as your curious mind, you're like, I want to know what it was like, but I don't want to ask him. I don't want to disrespect him. I don't want to, you know what I mean? But you're like, well, what was it like? Well, what did you go through? How was it? You got 101 questions, and he's not trying to answer it because he wants to forget about the experience. He wants to, you know, every now and then something will come up like, yo, when I was in the joint, no, when I was on the, you know, whatever, he'll come up with something and every now and then. But do you think that, Thomas, do you think that you like, is it a code that you're not supposed to, is there a code where you're supposed to say all this stuff?
Oh yeah, nah, I don't advocate any snitching or dry snitching and none of that. I ain't with that stuff. Snitches get stitches or even killed. No, the stuff that's in here is general information. If you ever go to penitentiary, you're going to know it. It's just exactly what you said. I just wrote it down for the people who haven't been. It's 3 reasons why I wrote the book. I wrote the book for a deterrent, for people, you know, young people to read it, or their parents to read it and provide them with the information, and hopefully it will deter them. My favorite cliche, I always tell people, you're one mistake or one mistaken identity or one crime or one accusal of not just being in jail, but being the cellie of someone, being the cellmate of someone who has 17 years in with all push-ups. And here you come fresh off the street. There's nothing you can do but get choked out and wake up and wonder what happened. Nothing you can do. You don't know about jail. You don't know about nothing. You're worrying about if Lil Wayne got a new mixtape. They don't even know Lil Wayne. These people ain't never even heard of nobody. They don't even know EBMD. They don't know nothing but push-ups, pull-ups, and what are we having for child? So you got to understand there's people like that got kicked out of society, and this book will just show you what to expect and how to conduct yourself when you are around such savages. There are people who are not civilized, you know. There are people who are really, really belong in there. You know what I mean? They jumped from under the train at Kensington and chased the old lady down and choked her out and took her body and then beat the cop up and ran up 2 more flights of steps before they caught him. Yeah, there are people that's ridiculous in that joint. And he did that when he was addicted to crack at 140. Now he's been in there, he weighs 240, all muscles, holds the bench press record in jail, and he's just waiting for his next victim. It's real. Oh yeah, it's real. So I like people to know what's going on and what to expect and how to conduct yourself. It's a cheat sheet on how to conduct yourself in case you run into these people. Now, I wrote the book because of that. I also wrote the book because when I was incarcerated upstate of Pennsylvania, which they have like 30 state prisons, I couldn't even believe it. I felt like I was in the feds. They moved me everywhere, all over. But one thing I noticed was my Philly brothers, they hustlers. They always come up with some type of thing to get to a major street dollar. So what they was doing, a lot of them was having van services. They was having they woman get a minivan, bring visits up, charging for the visit, making street money. So I said, damn, I gotta find me a hustle. So what I did, seeing that prison was an industry, I see it was a business. A lot of these corporations were putting up private prisons. I seen where it was going industrially. I said, I need a piece. I said, I don't know how to do the stock market. They ain't gonna let me buy no stock in commissary enough. And I can't put up a recovery house yet. I ain't that big yet. I don't know how to write the grant. But I said, you know what? I said, I'm gonna write a book. I'm gonna get a piece of the jail money. Because forever and ever it's gonna be jail, and forever and ever you're gonna need to know about it. So I'm in the jail loop. This is my way of being in the loop forever and ever. And my name is Timeless Thomas because I do things timeless. I'm Alpha and Omega, always was and always will be. This is an infinite ball of energy. It's an infinite ball. It'll never run out. Only thing I ever had to do, maybe revise something later on when something different happens. But as far as the foundation of what it is and what it's like and who's in there, this is a timeless book.
How many pages is it? How many chapters is it?
It's 175. It's 175 pages. Okay. But chapters, they're small chapters, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chapters. Yeah, 7 chapters. God degree. On the 6th chapter is 101 things you should know about jail. That's the whole 101. And on page 153 starts the 50 questions that you should ask anyone returned from prison. And then the rest of the book, I can tell you a name or two of the. No. I ain't gonna say it. It covers everything. Trust me, from processing to leaving. Just trust me. Yeah, just trust me. Yeah. I ain't gonna get into it.
Patrice got a question, Tom.
So yes. I actually have a lot to say, but I'm gonna ask this question first. So, if the last thing you just said was that what you should ask someone when they get out. So, when they get, why not create a journal that has that in there that they fill out themselves and ask themselves that question? Why not create a journal?
Well, you can. You mean why don't I do it?
Like additionally, like it's just another way for you to make money.
Yeah.
Well, that's an idea. I mean, I like that. Just like Shelly gave me a good idea. That's the thank you. I'll think about that because what I'm really doing with the book too. I'm not just selling the book. I'm partnering with agencies and organizations and rehabs and outreach programs and stuff and colleges that with their criminal justice course as part of the curriculum. This is going to be part of a curriculum. I have a real big plan on this. Meek and Jay just did the prison reform thing. I'm involved. I'm Big Deezy. Joe Biden, he said those nasty things about Black people. Now he swore to prison reform. I'm holding to it. So yeah, expect to really see me a little bit more. The only thing is, I'm going to always have this stuff on. I'm humble. I'm regular boy. Even when I go on Ellen and Wendy and all that, I'm gonna have this regular old stuff. I ain't gonna get my teeth fixed, but I'm just gonna be way up because I'm a regular dude. I give out but just expect me to be around. Expect to see me on Oprah and all that kind of stuff. Expect it. I'm here for the long run. Yeah.
It's okay if you want to get dressed up for your interviews. I'm just saying.
No, thank you. Though. Thanks for the idea, and I appreciate it. Yeah.
But she got another question. She got something else.
Yes. So the reason I say this is because I know that we're talking about basically relationships and when it comes to being with someone that's incarcerated, but there's different types of relationships too when it comes to not just a woman holding someone down that she's sees as her man, but also there's a brother relationship, there's a father relationship, there's so many different relationships because at the end of the day, I'm from Camden, New Jersey. I'm from the hood. So I've been around people. I know a lot of people that have been incarcerated. I have relatives. My brother is currently incarcerated. He's supposed to have been out, but COVID has stopped it. So, and those are questions. I'm happy you actually pointed out those questions because those are questions that I want to ask him. But certain questions I'm not gonna ask now because of privacy. Because
not your business.
Okay, so transparency. I recently wrote, my brother has been in and out of jail since I was 12 years old. And I think he first got incarcerated when he was like 15 and he did years, like in and out of jail and in and out of prison. It's just been a constant thing with him. And I've been the one where in our relationship, where in my early 20s, I was the one going to every visit. I was paying for everything he needed. Anything you need, bro, I got you. And when he got out, I had to realize, because I'm happy we talking about this, because I literally just wrote him a letter around Christmas time, right before Christmas. I wrote him a letter basically expressing my feelings of how angry I was at him for the time that I held him down. That whole entire time when he did like 6 years in prison, I held him down that whole entire time. And when he got out, I had in my mind what I wanted for him. I didn't consider what he wanted for himself, how he wanted to dress, how he wanted to be. I didn't give him time to grow. And you got to think about this. When a person's young and they're going into prison, their mind is not fully developed. They're not fully an adult yet. So in that time, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, this is what I want you to do. Put on the suit, even though he like, I want to wear jeans. But I'm in the store like, no, we're going to get you all suits, all everything. And basically telling him what I want him to have. And then all of a sudden, it's like, he rejected it. And I got so upset. And it actually took, how old am I now? 33? It took up well over 15 years for me to be like, to come to realization to say, that's my bad. I was putting you on to something that you didn't really want, nor could you even, take it all in because you were young when you went in. So I had to let him know, like, and this is the letter I sent him, like recently. And I was like, I apologize for doing that. And then being upset with you, because after he rejected everything I was giving him from any and everything he wanted, especially with my hard-earned money, y'all know how I am about my money. So, but after he rejected it, it took me years, and I had to let him know, like, look, I apologize for doing that. And now he's supposed to be getting out soon. But those are the type of questions that I would ask him.
Sounds like you should write a book.
Huh?
Sounds like you should write a book.
I do. I actually have a book in mind that I was going to write with him. Actually, but I ain't gonna tell y'all what it is until I finish writing. But yeah, it's a process because there's different relationships that you have with people, and when you're incarcerated, whether a relative or not, and everybody's not the same. And I feel like, no, I would not date somebody that's currently incarcerated, but if you're getting out and you're doing what you need to do and everything else, there's a process. My brother gets out all the time, and then he gets hooked up with the wrong person. I think women is a weakness. So he gets hooked up with the wrong person, and then it's like he winds up back in jail. So I think so I can see both sides as far as someone that actually take care of somebody versus while they're in prison versus not taking care of somebody in prison. It's the different type of relationship.
Do you touch on that in your book at all about the possibility of people staying single for a while and getting themselves together before they seek a relationship because they're still sitting in trauma?
Well, to be honest, my book is not about relationships. My book is about prison, but this show is about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So me and Shelly kind of blended both themes and we came up with it. And yeah.
So it works.
The point is,
I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate it.
He's got a bunch of ideas after this, but the point when it comes to a book that's speaking about jail, when we as women, I would say it maybe half of us have dated people who have been in prison or are in prison. So it is a part of something we need to know about because it's because we're single, we may possibly, you can choose. Everybody has a choice. You may never choose to date someone that's been in prison. Cool. But at some point, if you plan to date someone and you may be open-minded about it, then you need to know some of this stuff because there were some things I would never know. Dating someone who has been to prison is something totally different. They have a whole different thought sometimes, it's a lot of differences that they have. And you want to be, let's go back to the word empathetic. Sometimes you want to understand what they're going through, what they've been through. Sometimes you want to, just so you can understand a little bit, just so you can help them, if it's a good person. Now I'm saying, I dated somebody that was not a good person, they came out of jail. But if they're a good person, and they're an awesome human being, like I do know someone who is an awesome human being, but there's also somebody who came out and stole my money. You know who you are. I'm just like,
I want to say that, like, I get, like, we're on the topic of prison and everything, but I think it's really important to remember that, to me, from my perspective, that prison is just another culture. It's just another society. And in every society, people suffer trauma. That's why I keep bringing it back to that. Because it was trauma for a lot of people that made them the person that ended up in prison. and then it's trauma that they experience in prison. And so like, I think that whether you're like, oh, it's because you went to prison or not, is kind of not the thing. I mean, in Black culture, we have many men who haven't gone to prison, and we deal with similar issues. It's not like you're dealing with such a different issue. Like, oh, he's with multiple women. He's with multiple women, whether he went to prison or not. That's a way that he operates in life. That's how a person views life. So I'm just wanted to say, like, maybe this is not, like we were saying, it's a great book regardless for just dealing with people. And
Can I just
Go ahead, Disco.
What y'all have to understand is that, and I'm going back to you ladies saying that there's certain questions that you want to ask, but it seems like they don't want to talk about it.
You gotta ask, right?
When you've been up top and then you come down, you come home, it's the same as someone who's been to war, someone who's been to Afghanistan, someone who's been to Vietnam. It's the same type of trauma. And when you're at first, like the brother said, when you first go in, you don't know what's going on, especially depending on what block you're on. Now, if you're fortunate enough, like I was, to be on a lifer block because of my family affiliations, yeah, you get looked out for. But like he said, and here's the thing that a lot of people don't understand: once you go in, time stops. On the inside, now on the outside, everything is totally evolving. But on the inside, how you went in, that's what I meant by how you start is how you finish. In other words, how you go in, that's where it cuts off at. That's where your evolution level stops at, because that's how you went in. So to ask a person certain questions when they come out, that's going to be a little bit traumatic for them, just as you went to war, because you're actually not only at war with yourself, you're at war with everybody you are, because now it gets into a chess game. Just to go to the chow hall, just to go to the just to go take a shower is a chess game to you. You got to watch everybody's moods, and not just the brothers that you locked up with. You got to watch the moods of the COs, of the turnkeys. You got to watch the moods and everything of everybody in there, including your own. So you have to be careful with the reaction that you'll get, but you have to also understand, never ask a question that you're not willing to receive the answer for.
Yeah, that you don't want the answer to.
Exactly.
That's for sure. And also that was a very good point. Being in a penitentiary is equivalent to going to war in Afghanistan or something. And the sister that was speaking on trauma and highlighting that trauma is serious, but a person out here cannot be compared to a person incarcerated, because a person incarcerated is so limited, and the foot is on the neck, at all hours of the day. It's times that you have to ask, can you use the bathroom? So it's incomparable. No, people out here are not going through not even any of the things that's going on the inside. And then, like I say, out here, you could be going through something and you can just decide, I want to make a run for it. You know what I mean? I want to go live with my aunt down south and get myself together. In there, that door ain't opening. You're there. And you got to deal with it today, tomorrow, and the next day. So I can't say that it's anything similar. It's a different world completely. It's a society within a society. But now to Brother Disco, I do not believe the evolution stops. This is the reason to have the girlfriend or to have the cousins or to get the visits. You want to keep your people connected to the community. You want them to, now there's still going to be a Flintstone, of course, but they don't have to be the oldest Flintstone. You know what I mean? They can be ready for some of the transition. But like you say, some people that's going to come home and want to run DMC mixtape. Yeah, it absolutely is. Yeah.
And like you said, evolution doesn't stop, because I know people who have gone to that are in prison or went to prison that have college degrees, where we're out here spending $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 in all these student loans. Where in prison you can get a degree to LaSalle University or to Villanova University while you're in prison. It's all according to what you're doing while you're in there. I know.
I got my reverends and my doctrines in prison, upstate Pennsylvania. Yeah.
You did what?
my ministry degree and my doctor's degree in ministry, in prison. I got a doctor's in divinity, and I'm an ordained minister, Universal Life Church. I got it in prison. But when I came home, I went to college. But I went to Philadelphia Community College on Spring Garden. But while I was there, I started my education. Sure, I did. I even worked in the law library. But that's another story. But yeah, evolution don't stop. Evolution don't stop. But it stops with some. It stops
for some who don't want to do it.
So, yeah, but I just wanted to add.
For everybody,
because y'all are talking.
My fault, Storm.
No, go ahead, bro.
I wasn't saying for everybody, brother. I was just saying, like, we was talking about the 15-year-old that goes in, you know, the young cats. If your mind is already, you know, being manipulated or a follower, as I hate to put it that way, but yeah, your evolution sometimes is going to stop once you get in there. Now,
I
what
would say it changes, like the direction in which it goes would change. But you're still gonna grow. You're still gonna learn and have experiences.
I was gonna say the different what. And Thomas, you let me know if this is on point. What's the difference between being free and being incarcerated?
The difference between,
I use it as an analogy. How you see the wall. No. You was rhetorical, but I'm using an analogy for it. No. Yeah, I'm using an analogy for it. I say you can tell me if I'm right. This is an analogy for it. So a lot of people can kind of whittle down how they perceive what's going on. The difference between being free and being incarcerated is how you see the wall. When you can walk around, just like you said, when you can walk around without having to worry about asking to go to the bathroom, asking to go meal, got to do push-ups to occupy your mind, go to the law library. You could walk past a wall to a prison every day and never look up and take notice of it, never pay attention to it. You know, it's there, but it's not a focus for you. But when you're on the other side of that wall, on the inside, how you see that wall determines your focus. Like you said, if you somebody 17 years worth of push-ups in, guess what? Guess what his focus is? The floor and the chow line. Because in the chow line is what? You standing behind somebody. If you in the bunk, you got somebody in a position of vulnerability when they tired, sleepy, or not paying attention. But in your case, where you might have been focused on making yourself better, improving yourself, you see that wall differently. You see yourself on the other side of the wall, where some cats have given up. Some ladies have determined that they're not going to ever be out because either for circumstance, the court systems or what have you, because again, just depicting how the difference between the crack epidemic and the opioid epidemic, how were we treated? Women were locked up and given child abuse charges for being an addict, but folks that was non-melanated, they got rehab and opportunities. So the difference, and this is just an analogy to kind of just get people to think about it, your focus is different on either side of the wall. So even in relationships, as a cousin, as a sister, as a parent, as a significant other, as a boo or what have you, your focus from the outside of the wall is different than the focus for the brother booing you up, capping you up, trying to get or doing whatever he's doing on the other side. So when we talk about evolution, when we talk about accountability, it's also about focus. What is your focus? So if that's basically it, the focus, how you see the wall, how you see that wall determines your focus, whether you're incarcerated or whether you're free.
Give me that rhetorical question real quick. Let me close out with that. Give me that rhetorical question, that same one. You said, how do you see freedom or incarceration?
No, that's what I'm saying. What's the difference between being free and being incarcerated? The difference is how you see the wall. So that changes your focus.
And that's your answer. My answer is this: the difference between being free and being incarcerated is a mind state. Because you got people that are in society that are just as locked up, just as slaved up. Their dome isn't free. They don't have freedom. They don't have freedom. Their dome isn't free. They haven't freed their dome freedom.
And that's what I was saying about the trauma.
You got people. That's your favorite word too, my beautiful sister.
No, but that's why.
And
but that's what I'm saying.
That's incarcerated.
Mindset.
That are just as free as anybody mentally. They can soul travel and slide on outside them gates spiritually, emotionally, but they just have to be there physically. So I just believe it's mindset. You know what I mean? Because you got people in there, you know what I mean, that you know. So and then if you die in the set of the mindset of an incarcerated person, yeah, you know, it gets uncivilized. Okay, but what you say though, Miss Dramatic?
It's the mindset. No, I totally 100% agree with you.
Okay,
because what I was saying before is that it doesn't matter if it was your experience in prison or like he was saying your experience in the military. There are people who are trapped inside their own homes, trapped inside their own minds because of mental illness. There's so many reasons, and none of us can relate to another person without basically having conversations and asking questions. So these questions apply to every relationship, like Shelly was saying, that you're gonna have with another person, because everybody has a different trauma. I mean, not a trauma, excuse me, that was my word, now I got it in my head. Everybody's coming from a different culture. Like your culture, just let's say you didn't even go to prison. Whatever house you grew up in, the culture in that house, the expectations, the rules, different than the ones I grew up with, different than the ones Shelly grew up with. And so whenever you're dating somebody, you got to ask these questions. You need to figure out where people's heads are at. Regardless, they're a different culture. And if you're coming from prison, that's a culture that molds you too. That's all I was saying.
That makes sense.
I feel like the limitations is actually the problem.
Say what?
If you see, I feel like the limitations is actually the problem. When you see the limitations when you locked up, when you see the limitations when you home, if you don't see the resources and you're not willing to go seek the resources, because people in jail, they do have resources, whether they want to see them or not. They do. So my point is, culturally, if we change our culture to stop focusing on what we don't have and we focus on what we can make happen, right, we will change the culture and it will be no value in us being locked up.
But you also have to admit, and first of all, Storm, I love the non-melanated reference, brother. You know where I'm going with that. But as melanated people, you have to admit things are a tad bit harder for us.
No, I'm not going to argue. I would be the last person to argue that there is a difference. I would never argue that. My point is that culturally, though, we have found ways to praise the people that become locked up and that are incarcerated, where we can actually change the mind state and keep some of our sons and daughters home. That's my point on it. People in jail can write books. You can write a book from jail, and there are people out here that will support you. There are also people out here that will support you starting companies from in jail, because I see the value within that. I see the value within being able to sign your rights over to somebody who you can trust to be able to make things happen. There are things that legally can be done that we literally ignore because of the limitations that we see. Mind state means education. And if you stay stuck in your mind state, then you will never ever get out. So there are resources, and we need to seek resources instead of seeking limitations.
Yeah, that's the best fact ever. There are resources, like you said. Time you went to prison, you got your divinity. Like there's people that get Jimmy the Saint, one of the first ones to get a book deal while he was in prison. He's successful doing this thing while he was in prison. It is there, but how many people seek to change their mindset? That's why the people continue to have recurring sentences, recurring. So not everybody is going to do it. Just like everybody on the outside is not going to get it right. That's why there's homelessness. That's why there's poverty, because not everybody's going to get it right. Not everybody's getting their mindset right. It's not, yes, prison has a different effect. Outside has a different effect. We all have something that we're not going to get over. So why are we not successful right now? Those that are entrepreneurs trying, but yet you can have someone who's in prison, like a Jimmy the Saint, who wrote books, who became an author while he was in prison, and one of the first prisoners to have a book deal. So, Tom, tell us about your book one more time. Tell us about how we can get it one more time.
And by the way, I did write this when I was in prison. I just waited 10 years to publish it. I wanted to drop it at the correct time. So anyway, you can get my book. You can get it at Black and Nobel in Philadelphia. We're now on 4th and South. You can get it on blackandnobel.com. You can get it at weshiptoprisons.com. You can get it at Amazon. You can get it at eBay. You can get it at wareresources.com. And you can get it from me. You can DM me. I'm Timeless Thomas on Facebook, at Timeless Thomas on Instagram, and also on Instagram at jailbook_101. I advise you to get the book. It's the most informative and relevant book of the new millennium. It's a very good read. It's an easy read. It's a page turner. It's a must have. The bonus chapter alone is worth the price of the book. The book is $29.99 if you order it on a lot of sites. Some sites it's $25. If you see me in person, I'll sign it for you, give it to you for $20. Other than that, I would like to thank Shelly for having me. Thank Storm. I learned a lot from him today. Thank you, all the guests and callers. It's been fun, and I appreciate it. And I hope everybody gets my book. And if you don't, I hope you just learned something today from the information. Y'all know what it is, and y'all know how I do. It's your baby.
I have a question.
Easy, aka Timeless.
Wait a minute, before you go,
we ship to
Ray has a
prisons.
question.
Yeah, we ship to prisons.com. Is that like thing where people who are in prison can get books delivered to them? Oh, in prison?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll come back.
Boy,
Yes.
man!
Wait,
said, I'll
what?
come back.
We ship to prisons. We ship to
Okay.
prisons. That's our website at Black and Nobel. We ship to prisons. We can get it in there, the book and whatever. You come to the store, we get whatever, a prayer
So
rug.
for people who have folks that are
Bible,
incarcerated, they can order the book online and you'll ship the book to their person in a prison.
Yeah,
that's great. I mean, that's information
you
that you
order
guys
the book
should really
online and the
push
bookstore will ship it to the prison. All you gotta do is just tell them where you want it to go.
So okay. So
you can't buy it and ship it from your house to a prison. It has to come from a bookstore.
See, I wouldn't know that, but that's what I'm saying. You should reiterate that for some people. Okay. So we ship to prisons.com.
If you want the book to go to one of your incarcerated loved ones, then you go to one of those places where I just said, blackandnobel.com, we ship to prisons.com, or Amazon, eBay, Where Resources, or holler at me, and it will get shipped out to your incarcerated loved one.
Okay, good to know.
Thomas,
Yes,
Nate Lee says, I'm proud of you, Tommy, so I guess you might know him.
I don't know, but
Nate Lee, Nathaniel Lee.
Oh, yeah, Nate. Yeah, I know Nate. What's up, Nate? Yep, yeah, okay.
He said proud of you.
Yep, I appreciate that.
I have a question to Thomas. So if you want to, you mentioned that you can get the book in person.
Yeah.
And for $20. So where are you located?
I mean, I'm out there. I be around. Like, I'm around. You know what I'm saying? I said that just in case if you run into me. I'm at a lot of events. I don't know if you follow me on social media. I pretty much go to everything. What happened was the COVID jump, stopped everything in midair. But other than that, I'm everywhere. I'm at the Kentucky Derby. I'm at the Super Bowl. I'm everywhere where it's at. I'm there. I'm gonna be there.
Oh, so what? Okay, so just basically message you and you'll set up somewhere to meet.
Yeah, if we just happen to be within the same geographical region, like I'm not going to drive from Baltimore to Connecticut to give you the book, but I'm saying if you happen to be within a proximity where I'm at, yeah, I'm going to definitely meet you and hook it up. Other than that, that's what technology is for. I'm going to ship it to you.
Okay, thank you.
That's what's up, Big DZ. That's what's up.
Yeah.
So I know you gotta go because I see you itching to get out. He said, "Look, I got too much energy. I gotta go. I got one more question.
4 o'clock, right? Is everybody else leaving?
No, we don't. We are people that love each other. So even when it's over, sometimes we don't go. But that's just what it is. That's how we.
Well, I'm a step off. But I want to say this to you, Shelly. I got to get this off. First of all, thank you very, 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 very much. That's first of all. Mm-hmm. Second of all, when I did my first bid, I used to watch you on Urban Express. You used to come on, Shelly Shell represent for the big girls. I used to watch you and Keith faithfully every Friday. Everybody already knew that I was locking in to catch the show. And that inspired me to be in my media joint. I told you that I really got inspired by that. And then, however, when I met you in person and started following you a little more, I didn't even know that you was a beast. Like, I didn't know you was a cannon. Like, all those times on Urban Expressions, I saw you with all those stars. And then when I met you in person, I didn't realize that you weren't with those stars. Those stars were with you. You're Philly Oprah. So I just want you to know I'm checking you out, and you inspire me. You keep me motivated. You never stop working. That's a beautiful thing. And everybody else, Storm, Reg, who else I got? My sister Trauma, Swia, J. Renee, the other brother with the glasses, him, good brother. All of y'all, man, love y'all, and thank you very much. Everybody have a safe weekend.
All right, see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, this is Single on a Saturday night right here on the grownfolksradio.com. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Is that Smooth over there?
Yeah, don't leave me. I'm here. What up?
Yo, just coming on. What in the world?
Yo, we had to get ready for our little karaoke thing we doing at the crib. You already know what we get ready to do. Karaoke vibes.
Happy belated birthday.
That's right.
If Nikki's over there.
If everybody wants to go, if everybody wants to go to Karaoke Vibes, you're supposed to be putting a link in the chat.
Oh, I got to put the link in the chat? All right.
Yes.
Let me take
if you want to go to Karaoke Vibes, we're going to transition from here to Karaoke Vibes. If you want to, the link will be in the chat. It's going to be, you know how at TGI Fridays we do karaoke, it will continue. DJ Smooth, Nikki Phelps, True Blue Entertainment. They're going to have Karaoke Vibes. And when I say it's vibes, it's a vibe in a whole different way. So if you know what I know, you might want to be a part of Karaoke Vibes.
972.
Huh?
517.
Well, Shelly, can you send me the link, Shelly?
I'm going to send you the link. Anybody that needs me to send them the link, I will. But if you want to get it right here.
We're about to put it in the chat right now.
Right. Well, and if you don't want to get it from the chat, I will send it to you. I'll send you the link.
I need the link directly because some of us can't see the link.
I get it. Like I said, I will send you the link for those who need me to send you the link. Victoria, Snapper, Disco, I will send you the link. Anybody else? If you want to go to Karaoke Vibes, we're going to transition right into that right now. It's from 4 to 6, and it is brought to you by Nikki Phelps, the Relationship Exploratorium. Make sure you follow the Relationship Exploratorium on Instagram, and True Blue Productions. That's DJ Smooth. So this is Grown Folks. Are you doing? Yes. Shelly, are you doing? Yes. I'm doing karaoke. I'm transitioning right from here. I'm going to follow the link, and I'm going to go right on into karaoke. And once again, this is
it's in the chat. It's in the chat.
Definitely in the chat.
Yes, it's definitely in the chat. I just put it in.
So this is grownfolksradio.com. It's a single on a Saturday night. We do this every fourth Saturday. And to anybody who wants to join us next month, which is February, it'll be 9 years, literally 9 years, our 9-year anniversary. So that is next month is 9 years. So join us next month. We got to do something special. Haven't thought about what I want to do yet, but anybody have any ideas, any thoughts, any something? But
Speed dating.
It's hard to do speed dating on Zoom. On Zoom. So I don't know how to do that except for go in your own Zoom room, and there are Zoom rooms you can set up. So I can, if somebody wanted to do it, I can put you in your own, put a whole bunch of Zoom rooms together.
Shell, we'll talk about this.
Many breakouts.
I know it is. I know. I got that. So I said, yeah. So you could do a Zoom room if we wanted to do Zoom dating. That's something. But I don't want to be dating nobody, so I'm okay.
Shelly,
I don't want to be dating right now.
Oh my, we're gonna talk after this, I guess, once every.
Yes, we can talk whenever you like. We talk. So understand, I don't want to go speed date nobody. I don't want to date nobody right now, unless it's about my paper. Hey, LaShawn, you look so cute. Unless it's about my paper, I don't care. I'm like Catrice right now. Listen, I gotta work, and oh my God, your hair is so cute. I love it. All those curls, world of curls. So yeah. So that's next month.
Shelly,
yeah.
I'm gonna send you a video of me doing my hair so that you can see how I did it.
Ooh, I can't wait. Look, I'll sweat the wig off. I'll swig it off right. Bam! Let me get some curls. Flip it all off.
I dare you.
Oh, don't dare me. Don't dare me. I'm gonna sign off for the radio, y'all. This is Grown Folks Radio. I'm just signing off the radio real quick. All right, y'all. See you next month, 4th Saturday, 2:00 p.m. 9-year anniversary. So that means 9 years my behind been single. Single just means wait. Single just means you're not married. Huh? Single just means you're not married. Does not mean you're not in a relationship. Just make sure you know. Single is defined as not married. When you put your application for the IRS, it says single. It don't say I'm in a relationship. It says I'm single. But for 9 years, I have not been married. I ain't never been married.
Shell, we still in the air?
We're still in the air. I'm about to disconnect right now.
Can I make a quick?
Yes. Come on. Yeah. Let's go.
For those who have been inboxing me, this is DJ Disco. If you're listening on the air, for those who have been inboxing me and been texting me, the Melanated Morning Show will return in probably about two weeks. I'll explain to you guys in a whole statement why we've been on a little small hiatus. Just a little tiny one.
That's right. The Melanated Morning Show will return. But in the meantime, in between time, just keep up with us on social media. Follow us at the Grown Folks Radio on Instagram. Like the page, the Grown Folks Radio. And just, you know what? Continue to watch Single on a Saturday. Next month is 9 years, y'all. Woo! I'm excited. I'm not mad that I'm single. I'm excited that I'm single. Right. See you next month. All right, the radio is disconnected, y'all. We're still here. Okay. We are still here. We disconnect. All I did was disconnect the radio. So now we're about to go to karaoke.